Okay, so I know the Materialist dropped this past weekend, and I didn't get to really see it till today. And I just want to start by saying that I think Celine Song did a great job with this movie. I don't love it, like it's not my favorite thing, and the reason why I say we were catfished is because I wasn't sure what the movie was supposed to be. Like, was it supposed to be like a romantic drama? Was it supposed to be a romantic comedy? And I think they tried to say it was like a rom com, but it wasn't really a rom com. It felt more like a romantic, almost meta kind of way of making fun of the dating market, which is the scary part about this movie. Is how realistic it depicts the dating market. Like it that's exactly what the dating market is right now. It is insane. And it was interesting for me to watch Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans as a dynamic. They're rarely on screen together. For anybody to just knowing, like they're rarely on screen together. And when they are on screen together, it just feels so uncomfortable, maybe because they both know what it is. And something that I didn't think the movie was going to do was you were going to get it from like a weird way of like she's kind of with Pedro Pascal at first, and then she ends up with Chris Evans, which we kind of usually see, but she's not with either of them at first. And she ends up with the one, and then it ends with her going to the other. Now, with some history there, we know her and Chris Evans' character dated for apparently 5 years. And they split up because she didn't like the fact that he didn't have any money. She likes Pedro Pascal's character because he checks off all the boxes: tall, handsome, straight. So apparently, there aren't enough straight men in New York, whatever that means. And, he's got money, he got his shit together. She's uh, private investing, is apparently what he does, which is, I guess that's bread and a half if he lives in a 12 million apartment in New York. He checks off all the boxes, and most women would want that type of dude. But then something I was wondering was like, is she gonna like cheat on Pedro Pascal with Chris Evans? Which is, I'm so glad that's not what happens because that's the guy that she really kind of gets along with. The chemistry's there. They have history, and it wasn't even like a bad relationship. Some bad moments, but it's not like he was abusive or anything. He actually wasn't. He's actually an inspiring actor, something that's not mentioned in the trailers, I believe. And it seems like she was an actor as well before she became a matchmaker. And I thought that was interesting. So they had the same, basically basic career path together at first until she got tired of it and she didn't think she was good. So he stays on. He actually does get pretty good and actually has a play in the movie. He gets paid from it. I'm assuming he gets paid pretty well. But the movie, it's interesting. I just don't know how I could really place the film because there are some funny moments in the movie. Like, we're not going to say that some of these scenes weren't funny. Some of these scenes were hilarious, bro. But it's weird because I didn't think the movie was going to be like one half Pedro Pascal, one half Chris Evans. I thought there was going to be more interactions between them three together at any different time. There's really only two. And yeah, it's just like the movie just kind of goes, which I'm fine with. I didn't want like an overly long or overly complicated film. No, by no means necessary at all. But it was just like, yeah, I would have liked a more dynamic between the two guys, which is something we don't really get too much of. But I guess the whole point of the movie is maybe they're making fun of the classic rom com in its own way, while also having this scarily real twist of the over expectations on the dating market in 2025. Like everything I saw in that movie was like real. Like people really deal with this on the dating market. Like it's crazy out here. So I'm watching the movie and I'm like, she's being really middle grounded. She's saying that the girls have too high of an expectation, and she's saying the guys have too much high of an expectation, and that people should really not so much settle. But if you and the person genuinely like each other, what's the problem? And I actually enjoyed that message because I was like, yeah, she's really only with Pedro Pascal because of what he can do. She doesn't necessarily like him. And I'm glad that that was the message because that's the best message. She actually likes Chris Evans and they get along. and she dropped all that. He checks off the boxes, and he has to be rich and this, that, and the third, which was apparently a matchmaker's dream. But that's not reality. I mean, in New York, most people in New York, based off what I've seen in the real estate market and how much those apartments and stuff cost, you'd need to be rich to live in New York, or at least over 60K. And even then, you'd probably still be barely living. But the movie displays the dating market in the best way I've ever seen possible. I feel like it's been so unrealistic with the dating market with shows recently. This show displays like, yo, it's really hard out here to find somebody, only because everyone's expectations are really, really crazy. Excuse me. So yeah, it was a good movie. I was in the theater and I was like, excited when I saw the trailer. I was like, yo, Chris Evans, Pedro Pascal, Dakota Johnson. That sounds like a good ass movie. And I don't think I've seen a Celine Song film. I'll let y'all know in another video. I don't think I've ever seen a Celine Song, but I've heard of her. I've heard of her. And A24 just seems to be on some kind of warpath with these movies. Yo, I swear they drop like 8 movies a year. I swear they do. But yeah, I would definitely say the movie's worth a watch if you like this kind of thing. There's definitely a surprising section in the middle that I wasn't expecting to be in the movie. And I was like, oh, this took a really weird turn for a little bit, but it's not the focus, but it does cause friction with Lucy. It does cause friction with Lucy. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not going to talk about that because I'd rather people experience that because it is a little jarring, but it's also like not too unrealistic given how motherfuckers are. So I would say Materialist is like a 7.5 out of 10. Not too crazy, not too, like it didn't really reinvent the wheel, but it did in some of its own ways. The music is beautiful. I think the music made for the movie is fantastic. Like the background score, every time I hear, I'm like, yo, this music is awesome. And the way they shoot the film is great. I love that they actually shot in New York. I love they shot on location, which seems to be A24's specialty. They seem to like to shoot on location, which is great. So it felt real. So scenes that happen, they feel better because there's an aesthetic there for them to act off of. And everyone in the movie's great. So that's just my little tidbit on the film. I'd say give the materials a shot. I would definitely say give it a shot. And I just hope you guys enjoy it. But that's just my review on the film. If you guys made it this far, smash that like button, comment, and subscribe for more. And I'll see y'all on the next one.